Get up. Come on. Get out of bed. What's the matter with you? It's Thursday. Come on. It's Robin's birthday. Come on. Get up. Out of bed. Come on. Come on. I'm going to do the ice bucket on your head. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to post it on Facebook.
All of that while we're leaving.
Good morning, Robin. How you doing?
Good morning, Larry. I'm doing great. How are you?
Happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I put my happy birthday in the news, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Just in case.
Oh.
Just in case you didn't hear me live. I thought I'll put it on Memorex.
Rock cake.
Memorex has become synonymous, even though nobody uses Memorex anymore. I don't even know if it exists, but it's become synonymous with recordings, right?
Yes,
it's
it
live
has.
or Memorex. It's Memorex.
Exactly.
They didn't know when they created that commercial that forevermore we would be calling recorded things Memorex.
Exactly.
How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I want to ask you about your son arrived last night and all
Yes,
that. But first, let's just say this is a special kind of a day. It's been a special kind of a day ever since September 11th, 2001.
Yeah.
That day was special in a very, very bad way. And we have remembered that day ever since on that date. And for the first time in the last 13 years, I was not sure whether I should be as heavy with it as I have been in past years. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, well, 13 years. I mean, I know it's still important to pay attention to, but does the audience still want to kind of remember it in such detail as I've made the show very, very detailed as far as remembering it? And I said that like a couple weeks ago, kind of just, I didn't even do it to put out the feelers. I just said it, and I'm glad I did. Because then we got calls, we got emails, we got everybody saying, you know what, we should never forget it. Go for it. Do what you've done in the past years, and we'll be here for you. So
yeah.
So which is good. I do have a lot of stuff, and actually I have some new things. Believe it or not, over the past 13 years, there was an effort made up in New York. Although it's just not New York. You know what? I'll tell you this in a little bit, but there was a group called StoryCorps. StoryCorps. And they set up some recording booths, plural. I know one was in Grand Central Station. The other one might have been in Washington, D.C., someplace, a common area. I'm not that familiar with D.C., so I don't know the common areas down there, or up there from here. But I just... I was fascinated to hear some of the messages that people recorded, some of the things that were recorded, and so I'll play a bunch of them this morning. I have a bunch of them. Some of them make you cry. Man, I was just listening to some of them.
Oh,
some of them are remembering the people who died with such beauty and you know what? The one thing that strikes me when I listen to these things and I read these things, the one thing that strikes me is the same thing that struck me the other day when we had that clip from the Alzheimer's lady who was up there in age.
Oh, yeah.
And her daughter was lying next to her.
Kelly.
And they were talking. It was such a beautiful video. And what it told, and it was just love. It was pure love. And what it told me was that this is 99 point something % of the human population. Mm-hmm. The remainder of the human population are the nut jobs. The remainder of the population are the terrorists.
Yeah.
We are so outnumbering them. Mm-hmm. The good people. And so when you watch the guy sweeping the street, we did this video the other day called, remind me the name of what we called it.
Oh, it's...
Offerings of the Impoverished.
Yes.
We did a little video called Offerings of the Impoverished because it occurred to us that it is the common man, the common woman, the impoverished, and I don't mean necessarily the destitute,
right.
But the impoverished, the people who really are making it paycheck to paycheck, they are really the ones. You are really the ones making this nation happen, making this world happen for the most part. Mm-hmm. It's the nut jobs that get into the news. This idiot that killed his 5 children. He's the exception. He's in the point whatever % You know, the 99 point whatever percent, whatever it would be. And I'm just randomly thinking of those numbers, and I hope I'm right. I mean, if I were God, I would look at the news and say, let's just get rid of this planet. But God doesn't look at the news. He looks at us. And he says, you know what? There's still hope. Let's keep this experiment going. You know, you never know. We might be some big experiment.
Exactly.
And and if the bad guys had their way, the experiment fails. But they won't have their way, and that's why we continue to do what we do. That's why we continue to live like we live. That's why we built the Freedom Tower.
Yes.
On the spot where the Twin Towers were, near the spot where the Twin Towers stood.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Twin Towers themselves. I love the idea they came up with to create a memorial using the footprint of the two buildings, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so today is September 11th. That will be what we focus on all morning long. But it's not the only thing we're going to do today. News Bites at 8:35. That's where we read the news. Last night, the president gave a speech. We'll probably bring that up during the 7:35 segment somewhat. But I am focusing on, you know, the speech that he made was really good. And, you know, I mean, I don't know how you feel about the president, but the speech was really good. That's all I got to say.
It was positive.
Yeah, did you read it or hear it at all?
No, I didn't.
I know you were busy
I was
going
in
to
the airport. So.
But anyway, yeah, I thought he said what needed to be said, and I was glad he said what he said, and yet everybody, I heard some people this morning not so happy with what he said, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit. 8:35 is the news. As I said, News Bites. I had a very nice call, by the way, from a lady yesterday who just was so appreciative of News Bites.
Oh, really?
You know, it was kind of my hope. You know, we've been doing it now a year. Did you know that we're up to about a year? We started about a year ago.
Oh, my gosh.
And I got a call yesterday. I don't get too many calls about it, to be honest with you. But I got a call yesterday from a lady who was just basically saying, you know, I love that News Bite segment you do because otherwise I wouldn't know what's going on in the news. So
I love that.
With all the technology we have these days, you can get the weather and the news so many different ways. You know, I'm happy to hear that radio is still serving a purpose.
Yeah, and it's a rapid fire segment too. I love that.
I think it really veers from what I like to do on radio, because I like on radio to be the coffee table chat, you know, sitting across, not the coffee, but the kitchen table chat, I mean.
Yeah.
You know, like when you go to somebody's house, hey, how you doing? Long time? Hey, sit down and I'll get you a cup of coffee, right? You sit with a cup of coffee, you chat with your friend.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like radio to be that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Tom and Buddy do that in the afternoon very well, and it's always the way I've enjoyed radio. It's what you and I have done forever.
Yeah, we've been told.
And so I like it that way. And News Bites is not that way. But anyway, it's pretty much the only time we veer from that. Hank comes in here, Hank Whittier, at 9:05. Let me tell you something. I loved the fact that September 11th fell on a Thursday this year because of the fact that the veterans get to come in on the day that it is because of them that we've had no more September 11ths.
Yes.
It is because of the vets, the veterans, the young men and women who served since September 11th to prevent this, and not just in the military, but the FBI, the CIA, the police departments, the sheriff's office has this. I remember after September 11th, we invited some of the sheriff's office officials to come in here and talk about how we are protected here, just in case this happens.
Yeah.
When you saw the TV on September 11th, 2001, and you saw what was happening that day, how many of you thought, oh my gosh, we're next?
Exactly.
How many of you thought that?
I think a lot.
And you want to know something? There's an audio bite I have today of a guy who survived the Pentagon attacks. He was standing with, I think, 4 or 5 of his co-workers in the Pentagon, watching the TV and seeing the news out of New York, not knowing that they were a target also.
Wow.
He was burned badly, but survived. The other 4 or 5, however many were with him, all perished.
Oh, my God.
All died.
Oh.
So when the vets come here today, I mean, it's a very, very special day for them to come in. 9:35, William Brazel is the only time we'll really veer from the September 11th discussion this morning. William Brazel is a researcher, and he's written a book called The Seventh Holy Man, It's a thoroughly researched document about the Vatican.
Yes.
Is there more to Pope Francis than most Americans realize? Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what that question is.
Yeah.
The question is always interesting because it makes you wonder, what do you mean? What do you mean by the question?
Exactly.
So anyway, we will remember the different times that the tragic events took place 13 years ago this morning. 13 years ago right now, all of those people were still alive.
Yeah. Yes.
13 years ago right now.
Yes. Oh my God, you're giving me chills.
We will take a little break. We've got news from the Fox News folks, and then we'll be back to begin our day. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Steve Rappaport, upping the ante against the enemy.
We will degrade and ultimately destroy ISIL through a comprehensive and sustained counterterrorism strategy.
President Obama expanding airstrikes into Syria.
500 more troops are heading to Iraq to assist security forces there, and President Obama calling on Congress to approve the training of moderate Syrian rebel fighters. House Speaker John Boehner says he supports both of those efforts, but he is concerned those measures could take years.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern, remembering that dark day 13 years later.
I see heavy smoke coming from the building of the World Trade Center.
The nation honors victims of the 9/11 attacks with ceremonies this morning at Ground Zero, the Pentagon, and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. A South Africa judge says prosecutors failed to prove that Oscar Pistorius is guilty of premeditated murder. She continues reading the verdict. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Fox News on your time. The Fox News iPad app is ready to go with all the great features from FoxNews.com and our iPhone app optimized specifically for your iPad. Watch the latest clips from your favorite Fox News shows. Personalize the app by creating your own newscast using the video playlist. Listen to Fox News Radio live. Get local weather forecasts. And it's all free. Go to foxnews2go.mobi. That's foxnews2go.mobi.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life and Values.com.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Sign up for this year's Marion County Heart Walk and be part of a local movement that's helping others live longer, healthier lives. Join me, Corey Poole, your 2014 Marion County Heart Walk Chairman, and walk with me on Saturday, October the 4th at the Baseline Road Trailhead. It's a free event promoting physical activity and heart-healthy living. To find out how you can help fight the #1 killer of all Americans, visit us online at marionheartwalk.org.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Your official news source, WOCA.
All right, thank you for tuning in. 25 minutes before 8 o'clock, 72 degrees here at the Paddock Mall. Nice looking day out there. Hope you're having a good day. Robin's birthday is today.
Yes.
Come on, Robin.
Good morning. Six decades.
So we talk 6 decades, yes. Yeah.
Earned every bit of that. Babies.
So I want to ask you a little bit about that because it's fun and it's light, and then we'll talk about the president's speech, and then we'll begin our September 11th things. I have so many things that are new. I'm happy that we have some new stuff, and it's very moving, and I think it's important. I can't say it enough. I think that we have a need to remember the things that illustrate to us the things that September 11th illustrates. It illustrates to us, first of all, that we're vulnerable. Second of all, that we're strong. We have heroes in every walk of life. There was a story yesterday about a firefighter who lost his life, and I never heard some of these stories. I never heard. He lost his life, but I think he was off of work that day, and he wanted to get into the city, and the tunnel was closed. He couldn't get in, so he got whatever gear he had with him, and he ran through the tunnel, and he helped out, and then eventually died in the World Trade Center. It's just
wow.
We have heroes among us.
Gosh.
You know, we are vulnerable. There are people who don't like us. We need to make sure that our defenses are unequaled. We need to make sure our defenses. We don't need to be offensive with anyone.
No.
But people will be offensive with us, and there are unreasonable people. It's simple as that. So, and the president, I think, did a good job expressing that. I think one of the things that Boehner was criticizing him for was that it's a speech, not a strategy. But that's kind of how it begins, is with the speech. But anyway, we'll do that in a second. First, I want to ask you about you. So your son TJ flew in.
Yes.
And he works in Manhattan.
Yes, he does. 3 blocks from the Empire State Building.
I'm guessing this is a day. Oh, by the way, here in Ocala, well, in the Villages, first of all, at noon, the Harris Baxley folks are putting on an event. Down there
at Highland Memorial Park.
Down in the Villages, it's at the Field of Flags at. Hold on.
Okay.
At the Villages Public Safety Department.
Oh, okay.
That's where they're doing it down there. Highland Memorial Park here in Ocala. And that's at 6 this evening.
Okay.
Afternoon, whatever you call 6 o'clock. So there's the Field of Flags. There's an event. It's a 3-hour event in Ocala.
Wow.
This evening from 6 till 9. And the one in the Villages is at noon. It doesn't say how long it'll be. You can get a lapel pin, by the way, it looks like down in the Villages. And they're giving them away for free. They have 2,996 American flags flying. One for every victim, emergency responder, and military member who lost his or her life on September 11th, 2001. More names have been added to the list of names who have died. Even today, when somebody dies from cancer or some other illness that is directly connected to his or her efforts to rescue folks and clean up after September 11th, 2001, they are then included with the group of people that were killed on that day.
Yeah, because the terrorists killed everybody.
Anyway, so you got that thing at 6 here in Ocala at Highland Memorial, and then earlier at noon in the Villages, if you happen to be in that part of the is that still in Marion County, or is that the next county?
I'm not sure if it's Marion County or
And anyway, call Hires back so they know the details. So your son flew in from
New Jersey. Yeah.
And he landed in Tampa. You and Ronnie went down to get him.
Yep.
And your daughter lives down there, so you were a family together. That's always
nice.
great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have been there at the airport, but she's head surgical for her veterinary clinic she works for. So they called her in, and a little dog had a collapsed trach, so it couldn't breathe. So they had to put a stent in it and everything.
Wow.
And then
How does that
they
happen?
finished and all that. It just collapsed. She said it's common among smaller dogs.
Really?
Yeah, just
because they bark so much. Those little dogs. They yap 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 yap.
Probably.
Yeah.
But she said he's doing fine. They kept him overnight for observation and everything. But she said he came through the surgery okay. So she got to come see her brother, and it's really nice.
The plane landed without incident. Everything's fine.
Yes, thank God.
And
a lot of prayers.
And I was here for a few days
till Sunday.
Yeah.
And he'll go home.
Now you, I guess, just to begin the September 11th stuff, you have been to the September 11th memorial, right? When you went there, the museum was not open?
It was not open. It opened up the week after we had been there. But, the grounds were open, very solemn.
And can we maybe make something, clear up? I think there was a misunderstanding the other day when we told the ticket price. It's not for the memorial.
No.
It's for the museum.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You still have to have a ticket to get into the memorial.
Oh, you do?
My son got it. You just, go to their website, and then you get it online, and you tell them approximately what time you're going to be there, and then you have this ticket in your hand. But you can get it right there. You don't have to do it in advance. But when you do it in advance, you don't have to wait. You can go in right away, and you go through the same screening that you do at the airport. They check your bags. You go through the metal detector, the whole thing, and it's very, very moving, very solemn. It's just you have to be there. You have to go.
When we think about September 11th, and we think about what could have been done to prevent that, in my mind, there's only a few things. You could not have expected the president to order the Air Force to shoot down the planes, even if we knew for a fact that they were aiming at the World Trade Center towers or at the Pentagon. You can't imagine. I mean, nobody would have believed it if they had shot down. If the Air Force had shot down 2 jets filled with Americans, and the president ordered it. Can you imagine what we would be talking about today? The World Trade Center towers would still be standing, but George W. Bush would have been chastised for doing that, even though he may have explained, well, this is what would have happened. Everybody would have said, no, that wouldn't have ever happened.
Yeah.
But, of course, it did happen. So the only thing I can see that we need to be sure to do is the very thing people are complaining about. It's the searches at the airports. I really think, as much as we hate them, as much as it takes time to do them, it is that meticulous work. Was it the TSA?
Yes.
I heard somebody say we should stop doing that because the TSA hasn't stopped one terrorist in the last 13 years. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe because they're there.
Exactly.
Or how do you know that they haven't? How do you know that somebody who did it make the news? Did everybody who they turned away and refused to allow on an airplane, did that make the news? I doubt it.
Exactly.
And the very first photo that you see in the timeline on the 911 memorial, the very first photo you see is the photo from the security cam of one of the terrorists getting into going past the security checkpoint. That's the first photo they show.
Gee.
It's the first step, which happened, about 13 years ago, about right now.
Yeah.
So I think the only thing we can do is to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, of course, we had this story the other couple weeks ago about how many planes, 11 jets were stolen from some airport in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Hello. That's another thing. Now, those ones, the president just shoot them out of the sky. But how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know what they are? I mean, how do you know who's in them?
Exactly.
That's the thing. And
they might be here.
And during the course of the years, there have been so many conspiracy theories and people that came on the air even and gave us some very, very believable stories. Thank you to all of you who put some sense into my head. I've pretty much given up on all of them. And I will change that. I have given up on all of them. The only one that I was really still unsure about was Building 7. And I know this is kind of a joke between us, but we had Peter Spence on from ABC News.
Yeah.
And we asked him about it. He wrote a book about it, and he told us the answer to what happened to Building 7, and it made sense.
Yes.
And it had nothing to do with the conspiracy theory, because conspiracy theories always, by the very nature, included the people weren't included in on this, and that's the firefighters. You know they weren't, okay? So, but the conspiracy theories made it seem as if they would have to have been, okay? But he told us, and I'm up against the clock, so if you didn't already hear us talk about this once before, I'll mention it again. This is as good a time as any to tell you. But it made sense. We were attacked by terrorists. That's the point. That's the big point. And on this date, we did have many tragic stories, but many amazing stories and many heroic stories. And that's what this day is about. We'll take a little break. If you're on the phone, I'll be right with you. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today will be partly sunny. There can be a thunderstorm along the coastal areas this morning and across the interior this afternoon, the high 88 to 92. Partly cloudy tonight. Late at night, there may be a shower or thunderstorm along the coast. Low 70 in a few inland spots, 77 on the coast. Tomorrow, times of clouds and sun. A morning shower or thunderstorm at the beaches. Only in the afternoon, though, across the interior, the high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
This is the Salvation Army, and I'm Major George Patterson to let you know that the Salvation Army is available 24 hours a day to provide help to anyone. We also have a family store at 120 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala. On Tuesday to Saturday from 9 to 4, you can do your shopping, or if you want to donate, you can call 352-732-4469, and we'll even pick up 352-732-4469. All funds generated by our store go into the programs here in Marion County to help the needy.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
All right, thank you. 12 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I was going to mention something about the speech from the president last night. I'll bring that up in a second, but somebody's been waiting patiently on the phone, so let's let that person wait no more. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, one of the things that unfortunately contributed to the ease of hijacking was that during the early days of the Clinton administration, he took the guns out of the cockpit. There had been a regulation in place since the start of airmail that any airplane carrying airmail, there would be a gun in the cockpit. And under the Clinton administration, they took the guns out of the cockpit, so the flight deck crew had nothing to defend themselves with.
Gosh,
wow.
Didn't realize that.
I never heard that. Yeah, that's all. See, that is so stupid.
And now they under the late Bush administration, they started to allow guns back in the cockpit. So
okay, well that's
some
good.
Airplanes have been equipped.
Well, that's good. That's good. All right, thanks, Jim. I didn't realize that. Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way,
have a good morning, all.
Thank you. You too. By the way, Since he brought that up, let me play a soundbite. This is a little bit. It's got some dead spots, but we'll keep our mics on so we can maybe say something. This is a sound clip from a flight attendant named Betty Ong. She was speaking to Madeline Amy Sweeney, or maybe the two ladies were speaking, and I just don't understand. They have 26 years of experience. They were calling ground personnel. They were on Flight 11. This is the call they made to ground personnel about Flight 11, and I think you can hear them say they've killed 2 already. Listen to this.
Number 3 in the back, the cockpit's not answering. Somebody's stabbed in business class, and I think there's mates that we can't breathe. I don't know. I think we're getting hijacked. Which flight are you on? Flight 12.
And what seat are you in?
He asked, what seat are you in?
Ma'am, are you there?
Yes.
What seat are you in?
Ma'am, what seat are you in? We just left Boston. We're up in the air. We're supposed to go to L.A., and the cockpit's not answering their phone.
Okay, but what seat are you sitting in? What's the number of your seat?
Okay, I'm in my jump seat right now.
Oh, my God.
Okay, at 3R.
Okay, you're the flight attendant?
Oh, my God. They don't believe her.
I'm sorry, did you say you're the flight attendant?
Hello?
Yes, hello? What is your name?
Hi. You're going to have to speak up. I can't hear you.
Sure. What is your name?
Okay, my name is Betty Ong. I'm number 3 on Flight 11.
Okay.
And the cockpit is not answering their phone. And there's somebody stabbed in business class, and we can't breathe in business class. Somebody's got mace or something.
Can you describe the person that you said someone is what in business class?
I'm sitting in the back. Somebody's coming back from business. If you can hold on for 1 second, they're coming back.
It sounds like she said somebody was stabbed in business class,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But it's like they're not excited on the ground. What are they? Gee.
Trying to make sense of it.
Our number 1 got stabbed. Our purser is stabbed. Nobody knows who stabbed who, and we can't even get up to business class right now because nobody can breathe. Our number 1 is stabbed right now.
Okay.
And our number 5, our first class passengers, our first class galley flight attendant, and our purser's been stabbed. And we can't get to the cockpit. The door won't open.
So the galley attendant and the purser were both stabbed, is what she says.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm taking down all the information, and we're also, of course, recording this. At this point,
this is operations. What flight number are we talking about?
Flight 12.
Flight 12. Okay, no, we're on Flight 11 right now. This is Flight 11.
It's Flight 11. I'm sorry, Nitty.
Boston to Los Angeles.
Yes.
And she used the word hijack.
Our
They
number
didn't
1
address
has been
that
stabbed,
word.
And our 5 has been stabbed.
Yeah,
Can anybody get up to the cockpit? Can anybody get up to the cockpit?
See, obviously these guys got into the cockpit and locked the door.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they used mace to make it very, very impossible to breathe.
They would keep the door closed, and
Oh, my God. This guy's just...
would they not mean cockpit?
I think the guys are up there. They might have jammed their way up there or something. Nobody can call the cockpit. We can't even get inside.
By the way, we're listening to this almost exactly 13 years to the minute.
Gosh.
Is anybody still there?
Yes, we're still here.
Okay.
But the
I'm
guys...
staying on the line as well.
Okay.
The guys on the ground aren't addressing the hijacking word.
Reservations. Is this one of the flight attendants or who? Who are you, hon?
She just told her.
Her name is Betty Ong.
Betty, I'm number 3. I'm number 3 on this flight. And you're the number 3 on the flight? Yes. And this is flight 11? From where to where? 11.
Have you guys called anyone else?
No. Somebody's calling medical, and we can't get a
So that was at 8:19 a.m. 8:19 a.m. That's when that phone call, I guess, initiated. And then 8:46 is when that flight crashed into floors 93 through 99 of the North Tower of the World Trade Center.
And she said the word hijacked in the beginning, and nobody on the ground was addressing that.
Yeah, so I know when you listen to that, and I never heard that before. I don't know if you have, and it's obviously been around, and I don't know that I listened to everything. It's just when you listen to that, you say, well, and Jim Penna calling in to tell us that now they do have guns in the cockpit again. Well, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank God. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, if we're going to prevent this, you can't expect the military to be shooting down passenger jet planes.
No.
You can't expect that, right? You have to expect that there has to be other things in place, like, what do they call them? Air marshals or something like that, where there's a guy incognito on the plane or two.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job, is to fly. They're part of the crew.
Yeah.
They just look like a passenger, but they're equipped to take care of terrorists.
Exactly.
Simple as that. Isn't that what Israel does? Doesn't Israel have an armed guard on every plane?
Yeah.
Don't they?
They do.
Air Al, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Al, whatever it's called. And to have give the pilots weapons makes absolute sense. I can't imagine why we took the guns away from them.
Exactly.
And to continue doing what the TBS has been doing, we don't like it.
TSA.
TSA, thank you. TBS, what's that, network?
Yeah.
But I mean, to keep doing what they've been doing, I know we don't like it, but it makes sense, right? They just don't have to go through anything extra because it was so close to September 11th when he flew? Did he say?
No, nothing extra. Nothing extra. He just, went through
everything that's in
place.
They all
did the regular thing, yeah.
Wow. Well, today is the day we remember this stuff. Let me play something else. Did you know when, let's see, I think I have...
And people had carry-on luggage and everything coming off the plane, so there wasn't any
Here's another sound clip. This is also from Flight 11, but this is the hijacker. He mistakenly contacts air traffic control. He thinks he's speaking to the passengers, telling them to just be calm, whatever, knowing what's about to happen. This is only 5 seconds long, by the way. But this is... what's his name? Mohammed Atta. In an attempt to communicate with Flight 11's cabin, meaning the passengers, he contacts air traffic control by mistake. I guess he didn't learn everything he needed to learn in the cockpit.
No.
He didn't learn everything.
We have some planes. Just stay quiet and you'll be okay. We're returning to the airport.
Just be quiet and we'll be okay. We're returning to the airport. Yeah, we're going to crash into a building and all of your lives are going to be gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of my stupid belief that this is somehow the best thing that can be done for the world.
Exactly.
Because we don't know how to make a life for ourselves in our own country. We don't know how to drill wells so that we can have water. We're jealous of you because you do. Mm-hmm. We don't know how to maintain our own land and our own homes and our own way of life. We don't know how. You guys have this thing called the Constitution. We don't know how to have something similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to destroy you and everybody else who is also living well on this planet, even though all of you who are living well are doing everything you can to help us who aren't living well to live well. But you know what? We believe this crazy stuff that you're not supposed to have sex until you die with 72 virgins in the sky.
That's right.
Because it is the most absurd thing. You can't reason with unreasonable people.
No.
You just can't. We are remembering the events of September 11th today. I guess I got off on that foot easily. It's easy. It's an easy topic to get off on. But anyway, that didn't sound right. But I have sound bites today that I want to share with you that are new, though, that are relatively new. They started doing these recordings at StoryCorps in 2005. They started setting up these recording booths in 2005. So some of them are 4 years after the attacks, and others are more recent. But it's an amazing thing, and we'll be sure to do all that. Plus, we'll remember the different times. If you want to remember the times also, they are 8:46 a.m. That's when Flight 11, the one we just heard the calls from, that's when that flight crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. And then at 9:03, just about 17 minutes later, Flight 175, United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the South Tower. And then at 9:37, hijackers aboard Flight 77 crashed their plane into the Pentagon. And then 10:07 a.m., passengers and crew aboard the hijacked Flight 93 contacted friends and family to learn about the attacks in New York and Washington. They mounted an attempt to retake the plane they were in, and as we all know, it ended up crashing in the field in Pennsylvania, Somerset County, killing all 40 passengers and crew aboard. So we'll continue with our recollections and our memories from September 11th, 2001. I wasn't going to deal with it this heavy today. I thought maybe enough time had passed, and I thought maybe the listening audience would be uninterested. But you, the audience, told me you were not uninterested, that you were, in fact, interested. And it is relevant today.
Sure it is.
Especially after what's been going on. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. President Obama lays out his plan to destroy Islamic State militants.
We will conduct a systematic campaign of airstrikes against these terrorists. Working with the Iraqi government, we will expand our efforts beyond protecting our own people and humanitarian missions so that we're hitting ISIL targets as Iraqi forces go on offense.
In last night's address to the nation, the president saying he's sending nearly 500 additional troops to Iraq to help Iraqi security forces, but that the mission will not involve any U.S. combat troops. The nation remembers 9/11 13 years later at Ground Zero.
The commemoration starts at 8:30 this morning. There will be 6 moments of silence, at first beginning at 8:46 when the first plane touched the North Tower.
Fox's Anna Koyman. And a judge in South Africa has started reading her verdict in the murder trial of Olympic runner Oscar Pistorius. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Fox News Early Prime, breaking down business news and its impact on your bottom line. Your World with Neil Cavuto.
That's how I do business. That's why I am business.
Bold positions and brash opinions on the topics America is buzzing about. The Five.
How do you think this will set in with the American people?
This will be the pulse of the nation.
Washington insight and political know-how from the best in the Beltway. Special report with Brett Baird.
The epicenter of the political world is here.
The #1 place for fair and balanced coverage. Fox News Channel.
What's wrong with working hard to make our lives and our kids' lives better? Nothing. At Fox Business, we don't have a problem with success. We have a very big problem with those who get in the way of it. We don't come out of the box bashing those who make money, just the politicians stealing it and the bureaucracies wasting it. We're not just sitting behind a desk. We're out in the field, on the floor, with the folks. Because when a story moves forward, so do we.
Fox Business, the power to prosper.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Alice?
Yes, George?
I'm royalty at Devon Self-Storage now on Highway 200 across from Hobby Lobby. It says so right here in this letter.
George, I read that letter too, and it's Devon's loyalty rewards. Pay 3 months in advance, get 5% off. Pay 6 months in advance, get 7% off. Pay 12 months in advance and get 10% off.
See, Alice, Devon Self-Storage treats me like royalty. Just call them at 873-0777.
Yes, George, yes.
Hey, it's Christy with Ocala Mac and PC Repair and Ocala Guest Wi-Fi to let you know we have you covered. We are the only local certified Apple and Microsoft computer company in Ocala. We are family owned and operated. From mobile repair to wireless networks, viruses, new systems, or security cameras, we do it all. Check us out online, ocalamacpc.com, or give us a call, 352-566-8324.
Tell them Nick, Madison, or Mason sent you and get free diagnostic.
Get your internet telephone service from the company that brought affordable internet service to Ocala in the first place. All is Safe is a sister company of Ocala Guest Wi-Fi, a company you've known and trusted for all your internet needs. Whether you need a phone or hundreds, we've got the products and services to meet your needs both now and in the future. Our plans include everything from local and long-distance calling to equipment maintenance and even software upgrades. You can count on All is Safe to give you cost certainty knowing that your bill will be the same next week, next month, or even next year. Call 352-450-8647 today to learn how to cut your monthly telephone bill up to 60%.
For a lawn worthy of the spotlight, you need a mower worthy of the same. Try Kubota's Commander Z100 Series zero-turn mowers. These high-output, gas-powered machines are cutting-edge and commercial-grade. Demanding attention with brilliant LED headlights, 5-inch deep mower decks, and commercial Hydra gear transmissions, Kubota puts professional results at your fingertips. Get exceptional savings on all Kubota Commanders during the Gear Up and Go sales event with 0 down and 0% APR financing for up to 48 months. Command the spotlight during the Gear Up and Go sales event right now at your local KubotaDealersOfFlorida.com. 0 down, 0% APR financing for terms up to 48 months on Z100 Commander models now through 12/31/14. Financing is available through Kubota Credit Corporation, USA, subject to credit approval. Other conditions may apply. Offer expires 12/31/14. For more information, call toll-free 1-888-465-8268.
All right, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Thursday. It's 72 degrees here at the Paddock Mall. It's Robin's birthday. This is the brightest spot. See, everybody says, "Oh man, I can't believe your birthday's on September 11th." But I think, for me, anyway, it's the best thing that could have happened on such a bad day is to have a great friend with a birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Because it provides us to have cake and ice cream and
comic relief
and enjoy, and celebrate life.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we do, right?
Yes.
Galen Unol is up. He's here in Ocala, but he's on the phone, and he's not in Atlanta, but he was yesterday. This guy gets around. Man. Good morning, Galen. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Larry. Robin. Happy birthday, Robin.
Thank you, Galen.
I cannot think of September 11th without thinking of you, Galen, by the way. We've had so many conversations about it. I think one of the biggest things that I'll always remember about you and September 11th was when it was still new, when it was still fresh, you were reminding us or telling us really of the way that the public responded here as far as donating blood. And I mean, that was very emotional.
Yeah.
It still is for me. I mean, 9/11 and the people that worked at Life South, and I'm sure every other blood center in the country feels the same way. It's we look at 9/11 completely different, probably, than the rest of the world does.
And if I'm going to guess why, it would be because every single day it's like pulling teeth to get people to say, "Okay, I'll donate blood," because there's really such a small percentage of us who do.
Yeah,
that's right. And and for the the way I always describe it is, for the first time, the community needed us more than we needed them, or we relied on them. Typically we rely on the community a whole lot more than they rely on us. I mean, we play an important role. I'm not trying to downplay that, but the majority of the people in this community aren't going to receive blood. It was one of those days where they needed us because there was nothing else you could do to help. There was over 3,000 people that lost their life. There was nothing else you could do other than just sit and watch TV and pray. And at some point you have to do something, and donating blood became that something.
That is very wise, actually, what you just said. Very wise. It's a hard thing to understand. I think the best way I can understand what you just said is when somebody dies in your family and somebody brings over a casserole, the person with the casserole must know something that I never understood. I guess I know it now, but it's like, why would I bring... How's that going to make him feel better? I'm bringing noodles? You're kidding. You think that's going to help? Mm-hmm. But the truth is, it did help. And it wasn't the noodles. It was the fact that somebody thought to bring noodles.
Yes.
And just like you're saying, it was the fact that somebody thought, let me go give blood. I don't ever do this, but I'm going to do this.
Well, there's just, you feel compelled to do something, and what is that something? And it's a powerful emotion, and a part of us died that day. There's no other way to really look at it than that. I mean, we were hurt.
Yeah.
We were hit hard. So.
Let me say this before I forget. This segment with Galen Unold, important part of our morning, not only because Galen is very skilled at this, but also because he does something amazing when he's not doing this, which is to get us to give blood so that people can live. If you walk through the hospital at any given time, you're going to look in the rooms, you'll see people getting blood. It doesn't come out of thin air. It comes out of people who step up to the plate, lay down on that bed in Life South or any of the blood centers, really, and say, go ahead. I'll watch TV. You do what you got to do.
That's right.
But the segment is brought to you by Penn Flooring, providing quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. And how cool is that somebody thinks enough about this segment to sponsor it?
Yeah.
Stop in and say thank you for that, especially today. They have a spacious showroom. You can take that in while you're there. Tell them you heard about it on WOCA. They're located at 1201 Southwest 17th Street, right here in Ocala, right by that bridge. And if you ever come in here, you'll see Penn Flooring underneath our feet.
Yeah. Vacuums up well, too. They do a great job.
So did you get done what you needed to get done in Atlanta?
Yeah. Well, it was just a one-day thing. It was just a trade show. So that's
just a trade show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's cool.
It's nothing compared to Comic-Con or Dragon Con, right?
No. I mean, it was a hospital meeting. So what we were doing is really just getting. They're talking about current trends within hospitals and things like that. So those are always informative, and the way the hospital is, the way hospitals operate are just pretty dramatically changing. So
how good are you? Yeah. How good are you at sizing up somebody you met for the first time to decide whether or not you should yuck it up with them?
I think I'm pretty good at it because there's a couple of things I can say, and their reaction will tell me everything I need to know if I can go further.
we were at
They're calm enough. They're calm enough that, they're calm's not the right word. They're sanitary enough that it won't get me in trouble, but their reaction will tell me what my next step can be.
No, really. There was a guy at Arby's. We were at Arby's, and he was ahead of us, and he was as gruff as a guy could be. Just really gruff.
Yeah, I thought he was rude.
And I knew, Robin thought he was rude, and I said to Robin, no, he's not rude. I know this guy. I didn't really know him, but what I meant by that is I've known many, many guys like this guy. And so I knew that this is a guy you could goof with, and he just has this exterior. I just kind of knew it. And I did. I tried to yuck it up with him a little bit, and he smiled, and he had a Rodney Dangerfield-ness about him.
Yeah, you yucked it up with him.
But I can't always tell. I can't always tell. Sometimes I'm amazed. When we got everybody to do the Queen's Wave, Galen, it was like we were asking people, and I thought, I don't know. I mean, does this person want to do the Queen? And they did. It was like, whoa, the Queen's Wave. Did I tell you, by the way, that the kids from the Children's Craniofacial loved that video and very excited that we did it?
Oh, that's great. So, I mean, I know you told me the people did. I think that's great. What you guys did is pretty amazing.
Well, you were part of it.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done it. It was just us.
All I did was wave. You did the hard part. Don't act like we did a lot. I mean, we waved. I wave every day.
Okay, you said your part. Now let me say my part. My part is this, that if it was just Robin and I waving, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as impactful as it was with just all these people waving. Yeah, that was impactful. I'm going to see some of these kids on Sunday, by the way.
Yep, you are.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, down in Orlando.
Cool. Yeah, he's going to get them to do the wave.
I'm going to get them to do the wave.
The Queen's Wave.
There you go.
See, we didn't know whether to put their faces in this video because, well, we don't know these children. Not really. So, I mean, I don't know. But if they say, yeah, I'll be in the video, then that's
permission.
Really great, yeah.
Yeah.
And their parents will be there. Somebody's on the phone again. Let me take that call. Good morning. Thank you for calling and for waiting. You're on the air with Galen Unold.
Good morning. I have a question for Galen. It was in I just read about it the other day, but Ocala Regional and West Marion are going to expand, and I believe it's involving the IC units. They're adding more beds and I guess make it a larger care facility. Is that you guys get involved with that as far as maybe future planning for blood needs or blood product needs? I'll hang up and I'll listen. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's a good question, yeah.
Yeah, it is a good question. No, I mean, what they do is, for example, when the, and we don't supply, we're only a secondary supplier to Ocala Regional, but no, they don't really think about it in terms of, unless they're going to bring in like a brand new cardiology unit or a new oncology unit, something that uses a tremendous amount of blood, then they'll consider the impact. But so, for example, when they started their trauma unit, they did have to really make sure they coordinate with the blood provider, and that's how we came on board, just to make sure that they would have enough blood if they needed it.
And we had Brittany Marthaler and a doctor from Ocala Health in last Thursday, and they spoke about the expansion in both places, and they were so excited about it that they would be able to serve more people.
You know what amazes me about that? When they say,
and my wife works at Ocala Regional, so it's I have a special place in my heart for that place.
Sure, you
That's
should.
right. That's
But,
right.
What is amazing to me, there was a story, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago about they were expanding the number of rooms at some resort in Universal Studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in that area. The dollar amount per room was so small compared to the dollar amount per room for a hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. It's not even the same
I know,
category.
but you don't realize when you go into a hospital room, you say, "Well, this is kind of like a hotel room, but it's got a few tubes coming out of the wall." You don't realize how much money is actually involved in that room.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's what people don't understand. Yeah, an aspirin can cost you, say, $10, but the administration cost of that aspirin is pretty astronomical.
The engineering of
Just the aspirin, wow. I thought it was the equipment that made it so expensive.
Well, no, it's not just that. I mean, people have to touch it, and people are expensive. Because they take training.
No.
Yeah. But you are.
No, I'm not.
You're the most expensive.
No, I'm not.
You're the most expensive item in that studio, Larry.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah,
Whether you admit it or not.
I don't think so.
If Joe was honest, he would agree, because the board has a flat rate. But yeah. You and Robin are the most expensive thing in that room.
No. Especially Robin.
Oh, yeah.
No. Trust me. Galen, we need to take our weather break, and then we'll be back. You know what I would like you to do, if you don't mind, if you could just relive September 11th, 2001. Not you have to go into it at whatever length you want to, but we'll do that when we come back. This is The Source, WOCA. Galen, from Life South on the phone, providing us with the blood that we do need when we do need it, and we've always been grateful for that. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Today will be partly sunny. There can be a thunderstorm along the coastal areas this morning and across the interior this afternoon, the high 88 to 92. Partly cloudy tonight. Late at night, there may be a shower or thunderstorm along the coast. Low 70 in a few inland spots, 77 on the coast. Tomorrow, times of clouds and sun. A morning shower or thunderstorm at the beaches. Only in the afternoon, though, across the interior, the high 87 to 91. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today.
Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
All right, 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Galen Newnold from Life South is on the phone to remind us of the importance of donating blood, signing up for the bone marrow registry, and the other things that they do over there, blood being the primary thing. Galen, can you, before we talk about September 11th, did you hear, and if you did, can you believe that Oscar Pistorius is not going to be found guilty?
Well, what I heard, the latest is that he was found not guilty for premeditated murder, but the other charges, they were still pending. So he could still get charged with murder. It just wasn't premeditated.
It says, under South African law, Pistorius will not be found guilty of murder. Evidence suggests that Pistorius genuinely believed his girlfriend was still in the bedroom and that the person in the bathroom was an intruder.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Well, that sounds crazy. I'm hoping it's just the premeditated part. I really am, because I oh my gosh, I hope that's not true.
Well, okay, I'll just read it to you. Oscar Pistorius cannot be found guilty of intentionally killing Reva Steenkamp, the judge in his trial said this morning. The judge has not issued a verdict, and the proceedings continue. Pistorius faces other possible verdicts, including culpable homicide.
Oh.
So, I'm not so sure with the difference. But under South African law, Pistorius will not be found guilty of murder.
Oh, God.
Culpable homicide.
Gee.
I don't get that. I don't know. And again, we weren't sitting in the courtroom, and I say that about every. We may have been exposed to evidence that the jury wasn't. There's, and I don't know how South African law works.
Yeah. It says there is no minimum sentence for culpable homicide in South Africa. It's up to the judge to decide, and there's one final possibility. If the judge does not think the prosecution has proved its case, she will find him not guilty, and Pistorius will be a free man.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Hard to believe, huh?
Well, he's their O.J. Simpson, then.
He's their O.J.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gee.
All right, so if you don't mind, what was your morning like September 11th, 2001?
This one's always a little tough to talk about. It started off, I had a meeting with my staff the night before, and, at every one of my staff meetings, I always try to encourage my staff to talk about what we do, and we never know what tomorrow is going to bring, and that's why we're here, to help people who don't even know they need us. And I woke up, I was sick as a dog, and my office kept calling me, and I'm like, look, I'm sick, I'm really sick, quit bothering me. And they finally, after the third call, said, turn on the TV. And that's when, for me, the world changed. And by the time I got to the donor center, I was living in Gainesville, working in Ocala then. By the time I got to the donor center, there was a line outside the door, and
oh my God!
And then people just started coming. So by 11 o'clock, we probably had 200 people in line.
Wow!
To donate blood, and then it started raining. and it was chaos. I mean, make no bones about it. We were not equipped to handle that, and there were former employees who worked for us 10 years ago that just came up and said, "What can I do to help?" And then I just said, "Start doing interviews," and doing interviews and physicals, and we had some first responders show up that helped take pulses and blood pressures and those kinds of things, and it was a magical day with tragedy.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the sound bites that I have is from a lady who lost her husband, and she said she didn't want to see the day end, not because it was good, because it was horrible, but because then she could say, "He just kissed me goodbye this morning." But she didn't want it to be the next day because of that. She wanted it to be that day forever.
Gosh.
So.
Wow.
What happened? So how did it happen that you worked in Ocala and lived in Gainesville, and now you live in Ocala and work in Gainesville?
And here's the thing. I haven't, and I know this is crazy, but I haven't worked in a town I've lived in a very, very long time. Because we lived in Gainesville. I didn't move back. After I got out of the Navy, I went to college, then I moved to Jacksonville, and I didn't want to move. And then my wife got a job at Life South, and so we decided to live in Gainesville. And I didn't want to live in Ocala. I just didn't. And then we moved to Williston, and then we moved to Baltimore. And then when we moved back from Baltimore, and I actually lived in a different city other than Baltimore. And then when we moved back home, that's when Christy wanted to move back closer to her mother and father and her sister. And so that's how I got back here.
So I have an idea. Tell everybody who is your superior you're moving to Gainesville, but don't really mean it. And then they will say, well, you got to work in Ocala.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want to work in Ocala.
No, the great thing about my job now is I have my office in Gainesville, but I work just about the entire state of Florida and Georgia.
You should visit him in his
Alabama.
office. Mm-hmm. What are your hours? We should knock on your door.
It's pretty boring.
Really?
Pretty boring.
We'll come in with pizza one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you have more than one Life South location in Gainesville, though, right?
Yep. I'm on the Newberry Road location.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, so on September 11th, then a lot of people showed up, but the blood wasn't wasted, right? I mean, there were so many people, but it still found its way into somebody's veins, right?
Well, yeah, and this is a big thing. So, Life South, we stopped collecting on September 12th, and we didn't collect for 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Because we had enough. Now, the American Red Cross, and I later went on to work at the American Red Cross, and I've heard it from really high levels that we were concerned that there were going to be other attacks, and so we needed to be prepared for another attack and make sure that we had the blood supply to make sure that happened. And so the American Red Cross was told to continue to collect, because you got to remember at the time the American Red Cross also was the largest blood provider for the military. Subsequently, after 9/11, that's when the military decided it needed its own blood supply.
Yeah.
Oh.
But up until that point, the American Red Cross was the largest provider of blood for the military. And so they continue to collect. Now, when they continue to collect and there wasn't another attack, that's when there was some outdates and some of those blood products expired without being used. And so what I always tell people is, that did happen, but we had to prepare ourselves for an event. And that's what the blood supply is about. It's about a safety net. So we don't want anyone to ever use a blood transfusion or to need a blood transfusion. But if you need it, that blood's got to be there for you.
Yeah,
it's got to be prepared and ready and made into the proper components and on the shelf waiting for you. So that's important to say. So that did happen. Sure.
All right, we got about 2 minutes left. Let's take a phone call, and then we'll find out where the bloodmobile is. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Hey, Hugh.
See, I can remember way back, that was 13 years ago, I was walking the dog. I just had gotten home from walking the dog. The wife was at work, and the phone rings, and she says, put the TV on. Something big's happening in New York, and call me back and let me know what's going on. And I did. I was glued to the TV set after that, probably for 3 or 4 days straight, with never one commercial. And it's something that they're always going to remember. And I can remember, too, always walking the dogs the next few days, looking up in the sky, never seen a contrail from an airplane. There was no airplanes, and it was so unusual because there's such heavy traffic over Florida, air traffic. There wasn't one contrail or one where there was nothing. It was just like dead silent that way,
Yeah.
It was. The sky was perfect.
It was weird, yeah.
And I mentioned real quickly that today is also known as the Patriots' Day, and the flags that are flown should be half-staff all day.
There you go. Thank you for reminding us of that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Hugh.
I know.
Appreciate that. And it's also Robin's birthday. Don't forget that, too. MTV was still doing music back in those days, and it was so...
They sure were, yeah.
And it was so... And the reason I remember that is because every channel stopped their normal programming, and every channel was covering it, including MTV.
Yeah, isn't that
something? And the thing is I remember sitting there, and you couldn't get enough information, right? I mean, no matter what happened, you just wanted more. And there was only one news outlet, one cable news outlet, and you went to CNN, and that's why I think still there's so many questions, because the reporting in this tragedy was kind of all over the place. So, I kind of. And we've had discussions about that many times, and whether stuff was lost or canned or delayed or everything else. But
Where's the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile today, Larry. We're actually at the Ocala Star Banner.
Star Banner,
right down the road.
Dave Schlenker did the Queensway for us.
Yes, he did.
Go donate blood. Remember this
Thank
date
you.
and do it for that, if nothing else, for the heroes. Thank you, Galen. Have a great day.
Yeah, you're the best. Bye, y'all.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. President Obama lays out his plan to destroy Islamic State militants.
We will conduct a systematic campaign of airstrikes against these terrorists. Working with the Iraqi government, we will expand our efforts beyond protecting our own people and humanitarian missions, so that we're hitting ISIL targets as Iraqi forces go on offense.
In last night's address to the nation, the president saying he's sending nearly 500 additional troops to Iraq to help Iraqi security forces, but that